Steve forgets to open the door for me to come inside the house. After fixing that mistake, he explains that he and Blue were drawing a picture. Blue finishes outlining and now they had to color the picture. Once the picture is finished, Steve suggests they can hang it on the refrigerator, but Blue refuses to do so. So Steve asks Blue what she wants to do with the drawing. As a result, they play a game of Blue's Clues. First, Blue leaves a paw print on the up front. Steve sings to me that they were going to play Blue's Clues. He then explains that Blue's paw print will be on the clues. Blue's Clues, that is. Steve had to clean the paw print off. Steve decides to clean the paw print using a spray bottle of water and a sponge. Steve would have to spray water out of the bottle on the paw print. Next, he takes a sponge and wipes off the drippy parts. That out of the way, he's ready to play Blue's Clues. But then he remembers that he had to get his notebook from side table drawer. Side table drawer opens up her drawer. Steve reaches in and grabs his notebook. He thanks her, and now Steve is ready to play Blue's Clues. Steve tells me that to play Blue's Clues, they have to find a paw print because it's the first clue. They had to put in their notebook because they're Blue's Clues. They had to find another paw print, that's the second clue. Put in their notebook because they're Blue's Clues. They had to find the last paw print, that's the third clue. Put in the notebook because they're Blue's Clues. They had to sit in the thinking chair and think. Steve reminds me to keep my eyes out for the first clue. We had to figure out where Blue went. Blue went in the direction of the kitchen. Steve starts looking for the first clue. Steve finds the first clue on a stamp. Postage stamp, to be specific. Steve asks me what we had to do when they found a clue. I had to tell him that he had to draw the first clue in his notebook. Steve draws the first clue, a stamp, in his notebook. Steve did not have enough info for figuring out what we wanted to do with their drawing. Suddenly, Steve heard Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper tell him to come into the kitchen. They and Paprika saw a mystery maker in the kitchen. They saw the mystery maker making an ice cream cone, but did not know who it was. Steve needed help to figure out who this so-called mystery ice cream cone maker is. Steve starts looking for evidence. There is a scooper, ice cream in a container, cones, and sprinkles. So Steve kept in mind that the mystery maker made an ice cream cone. There's a sprinkling trail that went out the door. The sprinkle trail stopped by the picnic table, so the mystery maker must have had their ice cream cone outside the picnic table. Steve noticed some melted ice cream that must have been left by the mystery maker. After going to the picnic table, the melted ice cream trail goes around the house. Melted ice cream trail continues by front yard of the house. Then it went through the door. Steve opens the door a little bit more so he can fit inside. Melted ice cream trail went straight into the house and stopped by the bathroom. Steve and I have caught up. I noticed a light blue tail wagging inside the bathroom. I found out Blue was the ice cream maker. Blue came out and surprised Steve. Surely it was Blue who was the mysterious ice cream cone maker. Sprinkles trail lever drip around her cleaner rubber. Steve wanted to get this straight by asking Blue if she did make an ice cream cone. Steve asks Blue if she went outside with her ice cream cone to the picnic table, and Steve asks Blue if she went around the house into the front door and the bathroom so that she could wash her paws for the ice cream. Was it true that Blue did all of that? So the mystery was solved. Now Steve had to find more of Blue's clues. Steve immediately found the second clue on an envelope and draws it in his notebook. Steve needed a little more info on what Blue wanted to do with the drawing. Steve saw a felt friend who was trying to get dressed all by himself today. Steve congratulated him on his good first try and asks if he had everything on the way he wanted it, but she said that he's a little bit uncomfortable and asks if he can help him get his clothes on so they felt better. So they did a step-by-step process and what the felt friend should put on his feet first. The felt friend had to put on both socks first and then both shoes on next. Now the felt friend had to figure out what to put on first. He had an undershirt on. He puts on the short-sleeved shirt. Next he puts on the sweater. After that he knows what to put on last, which was the coat. Not long after that, Bull and Steve gives the Gadoo into the bakery to help Bull and Spatula make muffins. Steve thought it was banana muffins, which is what Bull and Spatula were making, but their recipe is all mixed up. You need to put the recipe cards in the right order. One card is baking the muffins, one card has a plate full of muffins, one card has the batter pulled into a tin, and one card has the ingredients mixed into the batter. The first step in making banana muffins is to mix the ingredients to make a batter. The next step is to pour the batter into a muffin tin. The third step is to bake the muffins, and the fourth and final step is to serve the muffins on a platter. After putting the recipe cards in the right order, Bowl and Spatula go to work making the banana muffins. They mix the ingredients. The ingredients were 3 bananas, 2 eggs, and 1 cup of flour. The ingredients got mixed. Next they had to pour the batter into a muffin tin. Next they had to bake the muffins. After they came out of the oven, steam escaped. The muffins needed to cool down. They got the platter ready for the banana muffins. The banana muffins are now on the platter. But Bowl and Spatula tell Steve they cannot eat the muffins until after lunch. Bowl and Spatula thanks Steve for helping them make banana muffins. Once Steve skidooed back home to find the third clue. Back at home, Mailbox was outside and there was a clue on him. Steve calls out to Mailbox saying he was a clue. Mailbox could not believe his eyes. Steve had to draw Mailbox in his notebook. Steve collected all 3 clues, and he and I were ready for the last step, which is to go to the thinking chair and put all 3 clues together. Steve sits in the thinking chair and is ready to put all the clues together. Clues were a postage stamp, an envelope, and mailbox. Steve thinks Blue should put the postage stamp on the front of the envelope, and they could fold their drawing so it fits inside the envelope. Then I suggest that we put the envelope in the mailbox, and that he could mail the drawing. After figuring out Blue's clues, Blue gets the envelope ready, folds the drawing, puts on the postage stamp on the top right corner. Blue then draws a picture of who's getting the letter, which was Magenta. Steve and Blue had outside to see Mailbox, who had a letter for him to mail to Magenta. Mailbox will make sure it gets delivered right away. Steve and Blue head back inside the house and waited. Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, and Paprika asked Steve if there was still a mystery maker outsider. Steve forgot to tell them that he and I figured out who it was, and it was Blue. The Farley felt friend came back, and this time he got dressed all by himself in the right way. Bowl and Spatula had the banana muffins served on the platters. After a short wait, it was mealtime. Everybody joined in for the mealtime song. Mailbox comes back. Steve sits in the thinking chair. Mailbox tells him that he did so deliver the letter to Magenta, that she sent a letter back to them. Steve was impressed with how fast it took. Steve and Blue get a letter from their friend Magenta. Her letter showed her with some kids. A boy named Adam Torquay tells Blue that Magenta got her letter, and Diana Wilner, Jennifer Wilner, and Phil Worley Jr. had something for Steve and Blue. So the 3 of them start to sing, "We got the picture from Steve and Blue." Phil Worley Jr. asks them, "What do you say?" And then they said, "Thank you." Magenta likes them to say thank you for the picture. Steve thought maybe I could send them mail one day. Steve sings the So Long song.